Got a couple more oxidizers. Sorry, let me get a couple more oxidizers out. You got like 30 seconds of duration on your oxidizers. Come on. Ready. We rocking and rolling. 345,000 multi-kill, 99 survivor. Did I just respawn again? What's going on, Dags? I got some exciting news about the Kingly College farm. I discovered something new. But before we get to that good juicy stuff that I discovered, if you're new to the channel, welcome to Daddy Gang Gaming. I'm your host NOX, where my favorite thing to do is respawn, and it's not because I'm good. If my Kingly College guides have helped you, make sure you drop a like, drop a comment, let us know how many levels you normally get a run. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you guys subscribe. It helps out the channel. And yes, I know Kingly College is a hot topic. There's a lot of controversy around doing this farm. Is it a glitch? Is it an exploit? Not really. It's like all you're doing is running the objective. And once the objective is cleared, you just reset and run it again. We're not doing anything to cause the game to break or run any way that it's not supposed to run. All we are doing is positioning ourselves in key locations to allow the enemies to spawn out of the same two doors. As long as you are in specific spots, the enemies come out the same doors. I mean, we didn't do anything to make it happen outside of what the mechanics are, right? And yes, before we dive in, go grab your sleeping bag because this is a very boring farm. Yeah. Think of it this way. This is a tool, and having multiple tools or different ways to farm is always more better than just doing the same thing over and over again. I do personally enjoy doing public executions and running bounties after I collect all those bounties from the public executions, and that is my go-to way to farm. You also have the classified assignment that you could run during global events. And if you have a group, you can run the classified assignment even outside of the global events with some prep work and communication. You have control points that give you a lot of great XP. You know, you have countdown, you have summit. There's a lot of different ways to farm. So as always, just play the game how you like to play. And all you have to do is just be kind, right?
Dags, remember to be kind.
For the people who like to leave hateful comments, I mean, I hope you feel better, I guess, bro. I don't know what to say. And I know Kingly College isn't for everybody. And I also have guides for all the other different farms that I described earlier. So definitely go check out my guides playlist. There's a lot of good stuff there. And I even have a video how to set up your world that you force the bounties to always go to the same spot because you don't do any of the side missions. So definitely check out that video if you really want to increase your efficiency in farming, especially during XP events. So back to it, on the positive side, I'm going to stick to my guns and say that Kingly College is going to be the #1 way to gain levels. There is no other farm in the game where you can gain more levels than Kingly College. If you can nail your efficiency and consistency in this farm, you're going to gain anywhere from 5 to 7 levels solo and 8 to 11 levels in a group. Each run lasts 4 minutes and 30 seconds, and it takes you about 10-15 seconds to run to start it. So under 5 minutes, gaining 5+ levels a run. For this video, I tested out 4 different builds, and I'm going to show you a new and improved spot to play at, where it's going to make it super easy to land those oxidizers in the right spot every single time. So without further delay, let's get right into the Kingly College Guide 2.0 for this season. An easy way that you could get a lot of bonus experience from accolades, and those accolades are things like multi-kills, headshot kills, survivor bonus, and if you're in a group, team survivor bonuses. And the way to make this works where you get bonus XP for accolades is you want to play on an agent that has not defeated Liberty Island, and as long as you don't beat that mission, the game is going to keep you like in this little limbo state, I guess. I don't know how to really explain it. And those accolades are going to proc a lot more often. And if you get a headshot kill, it's going to count that one headshot kill as 2 headshot kills, so pretty much doubling your XP right there for the accolade. Multi-kills is going to go off every single time. Even if you take out one enemy, you're going to get multi-kill XP. And also when you do like open world activities or get collectibles, you might see 2 sets of experience numbers. That is a visual glitch, and you will not actually get double XP for that kind of stuff. So let's go and find an enemy. Let me see if I could get 1 kill. Try to do a headshot kill. Ooh, shoot. All right, I killed him with a headshot. Let's run away. So let me run for my life. Oh, here's the snitch. Target near you. Oh my God, they're chasing me. Leave me alone. I might have to kill this guy. Yeah, I might have to kill them. So let me try to get him with a headshot. Headshot. I got 3 headshot kills, so I should get 6 headshot kills. Alrighty, I'm out of combat, and right there, I killed 3 enemies. I got ×3 multi-kill XP, and I got ×6 headshot kill XP. And all I did was take out 3 enemies. Alrighty, so I had to move areas because I don't know where the last guy went. So let me go to the safe house here. That way I could kill 1 person and then just run back to the safe house. Alrighty, there's 1 kill. I'm going to run back to the safe house. That way it'll take me out of combat. And you'll see all those accolades pop up on the bottom left. So let's take a look. I'm out of combat, and there. I just got a multi-kill XP and 2 headshot kill XP, even though I took out 1 enemy. With the new DLC, it's even easier to do this. So if you're not super attached to your agent, I highly recommend that you do this with all 4 agents, 1 at a time. And when you make a new agent, make sure you boost to level 40 just to save yourself some time. I haven't even touched New York with this agent, meaning that I never beat the Liberty Island mission where you have to take out Aaron Keener. And that's why it's working on this current agent. And once you get done with that, on all 4 of your agents, you're going to get way more experience for taking out ads. And this is going to be really important because the biggest thing in this game is taking out enemies, right? You're going to get a lot of multi-kill XP. And if you like playing one-shot builds, doubling your headshot XP for headshot builds, you're going to level up even faster. And on top of doubling your HP for those headshots, even if you take out 1 enemy, like I said, it's going to count as a multi-kill, and you're going to get that multi-kill XP. And when it comes to farms like the Kingly College farm, where you get all your XP for taking out enemies, where you take out over 300 of them per run, getting multi-kill XP for each of those enemies is going to give you a really big XP boost. Additionally, the Survivor Accolade is going to proc a lot more often. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you could go to the Quartermaster, tab over to perks, and this is the perk that gives you those accolades right here. You got the headshot accolade, multi-kill accolade, you got the weak points accolade, you got the tactical kill accolade, you got the survivor bonus accolade, and you'll also notice if you're playing in the group, both the survivor accolade plus the team survival accolade are going to proc at the same time more often if you have it set up like this agent. Alrighty, Dax, that's my quick tip on how you could get bonus free XP.
So you think you know what's really going on out there. You have no idea.
Kelso had to go. Said it was safer.
Alrighty, Dags, we are back at Kingly College, and I'm going to address some of the comments that I saw both on my video and Tuxedo Bandito's video when it comes to the Kingly College farm. One of the biggest things is that a lot of people were having issues with doing it, and when it comes to doing this farm, the build doesn't really matter, but it does matter. It's going to really depend this season that you do enough damage to kill the first enemy quickly, allowing for the Kingly College dad drop modifier to proc. And for me, it's a lot easier because my oxidizer is at level 30. So I get that 30% more damage to my oxidizer. That's why when you see me doing it in my videos, I have a really easy time with this farm just because I'm able to do more damage. But don't get discouraged because having super high damage is not as important as you will think. What I found to work the most consistent is having higher skill duration. And that's why my loadouts are aiming really heavily onto the skill duration, especially with the 3-piece Wavenware, because you get that 45% skill duration. And yes, Empress have better stats, and both Empress and Wavenware will work fine. I just find it that when I'm running the 3-piece Wavenware, my farms, my runs are a lot more consistent because having a higher duration on your oxidizer, allowing it to stay on the floor more often, means you don't have to shoot as many oxidizers out consistently. And yes, it does get really laggy when you just farm, so keep that in mind. So if you go straight damage and your duration is only going to be like, 12 seconds, that means you constantly have to shoot oxidizers over and over again. Whereas in this build, the duration is 24.7 seconds, meaning that I have a little bit more leeway when it comes to shooting on oxidizers. And when it comes to RNG with the skill town, there will be patches where it will not proc at all for multiple waves. So this is where having a longer cloud duration comes in clutch. You have a little bit more leeway and wait time for it to proc again and get more ammo. And another one, popular comments, is people who are saying they only get like 1 level or 2 levels. It's going to come down to how fast you take out the enemies, because the next wave won't spawn until you kill the previous enemy. And when it comes to the backpack talent, you can mix and match. I just find that having tech support or the Memento backpack came in clutch this season, just because we are starving for damage a little bit. And when it comes to the modifiers, you can run with the modifiers or you can just turn them off. That way you don't have to worry about the blue core enemies, because they do get a little bit more extra HP with the overheal. But if you are playing with the modifiers, Tank Link is going to be a great way to get one of your oxidizer ammo back really quick. And hands-on is really good because you take half of your skill haste and half of that turns to skill damage, which is going to boost the tick damage of your oxidizers. So that's my tad bit with the modifiers. So if you are struggling, try turning off the modifiers and see how that goes. And then another comment that I saw was people asking if they had to clear all of the buildings for the Kinley College. And the answer is no. You just have to clear Kinley Student Union one time. That way you could change the difficulty to a higher difficulty, because you can see on story mode you don't have that drop. But on normal, hard, and challenging difficulties, you do have the dead drop modifier available, and you're going to need these difficulties unlocked if you want story mode to have the dead drop modifiers activated. And the way that you do that, you'll just run in this building right here. Once it starts, just open up your map, hover over this little icon right here, open up the mission settings, and then select story mode. And the reason why you want to do it on story mode is because if you do it on any of the other difficulties, when you complete the third section and you take yourself out with your oxidizer or grenade or whatever, it's actually going to load you back to the beginning and you're going to have to rerun the first two sections again. Versus if you're playing on story mode, it is going to respawn you at the previous section and you can run to the last section right off the bat. And for the first two sections, you could just run whatever build you want. It doesn't really matter. Alrighty, let's run through this really quick. Interact with the echo. Gonna run to the left. Hit homegirl up. Then we're gonna run over this direction. Rest in peace, original Kinley College farm right here. Alrighty, we got the second key right here. Pick it up.
Hardware key detected. That key should give you root access privileges to the military grade servers.
Alrighty, for the sake of the video, I'm going to skip past this part. Alrighty, we're done with this part, so let's go to the next one. Gonna run right over here. Cut to the left. And here we go. Same thing as before. Going to skip past this part. Alrighty, now let's swap over to our oxidizer build. So for the first build, I'm going to run this right here with the 3-piece Wavenware with tech support. There's the third piece. And then 2-piece Shiny Monkey with the talent skilled. And then one more Akami right here for more skill duration. And then you could put skill haste or skill duration for the armor mods. It's going to be up to you. Right now we're sitting at 24.1 seconds on the cloud duration. You could squeeze in a couple more seconds with 30% more skill duration if you want. For the cam launcher, I got the damage on it and increased radius, but you could also run the +1 ammo. And then I got the Artificer Hive as well. And when it comes to the Artificer Hive, you don't actually have to drop it. Just leave it equipped to yourself and automatically every 10 seconds it's going to go ahead and buff your oxidizer for you. All right, let's go ahead and run this. And when it comes to this part, as soon as you run in, that 4 minutes 30-second timer is going to start. So you're going to want to hit the terminals as fast as possible. And before you hit the last terminal, you're going to want to shoot oxidizers in a specific spots. And if you're playing in a group, for each additional agent, there's going to be more terminals. And I believe for the most part, they start off on the bottom right here around the corner and right above it as well. So coordinate with your teammates on who's going to get what. What I like to do is I will just run my normal route, even if I'm playing in a group, where I hit the 3 that are available when you're solo. And I'll have the other guys go ahead and hit the rest of the terminals. If you guys don't get it right the first time, it's okay. Just communicate with your teammates. Alrighty, let's go ahead and do it. Hit the first one.
Take over the terminal so
You want to do this as fast as possible, so make sure you sprint.
Terminal controlled. Terminal infiltrated.
Alrighty, got the second one. We're gonna get the third one. Then run over here at this angle and start shooting oxidizers by shooting a couple up top, because that's where they usually like to spawn. Then we're gonna shoot some on the bottom, and then turn around and interact with the terminal.
Terminal controlled.
Then you want to stay over here. That way you have the best anglage. And you want to follow this rotation right here. One up, one down. One up, one down. You kind of see where I'm shooting them. You want to try to get the oxidizers to land against the doors that they spawn out of. That way you can hit them all as soon as they come out. If you shoot them at the wrong spot, you're going to have this thing where they could run out because the oxidizers aren't hitting them as soon as they spawn. And also keep your eye on the timer, because at the 3-minute mark, the Chonga is going to come out. So you could run over here and shoot a couple oxidizers down here. Then make sure you run back over here so you got the good anglage. And then continue shooting the oxidizers again. Oop. RNG bad. You can run over here and light them up a little bit with your gun. All right, that should be good. Go back to the oxidizers. And see how fast we dealt with the Chonga. It's very important that you stay over here, because you're going to get the best angle to hit the right spots with the oxidizer. You want to make sure you don't shoot these too high, and you want to make sure the same with this one. You don't want to shoot them too high, because if you shoot them up here, you're not really hitting them. Same with here. You kind of want to get them to tuck behind that curtain, and here you can want to get them to kind of go in that little gap right there. That's the sweet spot for the oxidizers. And it's going to come down to your aiming of the oxidizers, how effective you're going to be able to kill them. And we reckon in some levels. I forgot to look on how many levels I had. Look right now. Our cloud duration is 24 seconds. Skill haste 128. Pull these bad boys out. Like, this is how the run should go every single time. As long as you get the oxidizers in the right spots, you shouldn't have too many issues. And I'm not even activating my tech link at all. All right, we got a minute. Ooh. When it's lagging like this, just keep in mind, if it starts lagging, that means you're killing a whole lot of enemies. And just a disclaimer, there's a lot of people who keep saying this lags the whole server. I don't know if it does or it doesn't. Right now, we do have the Hollywood Global event going on. So it's like normally when there's a global event, the servers lag. But I did notice that when Kinley College is open and there isn't a global event happening at the same time, the servers are fine. I mean, even though Kinley College is open. But during the global events, you know, I think people like to confuse the global event lag with Kinley College a lot. Oh no. This is kind of what happens when you can't really aim, when the lag kicks in. It's all right. We got 10 seconds left. So it looks like I can't aim. I can't aim. It's all right. It's over.
System infiltration completed.
It was a good run.
System rebooted. System disarmed.
So it looks like near the last few seconds, that's like when we run into the most lag. So after you hit the 2-minute mark, it might start lagging. And then near the end of this run at the 1-minute mark, you might hit more lag. And it's very important that after you finish it, do not run to the echo. But I'm gonna show you guys something. So you see this door right here? How it's kind of tucked behind this curtain? So let's stand where the door is. You can't shoot the oxidizer there, But when you're on the upper angle and you shoot it, the arc from the oxidizer is going to make it land like right around here. And this is where you want the oxidizer to land, against this door right here, against this wall. Same thing. This is the door right here. And you can see right there, right? That's where we stand next to the left of this pillar right here. We stand right there. So what you want to do, you want to make sure you get the oxidizers to land against this door right here. What I see people doing is they'll shoot the oxidizers and they'll hit this right here, or they'll hit this right here. And when you hit this pillar right here, this is the issue you run into, right? Even if you shoot it low. Now look at this. Do you see where the outline is? It's not hitting them. And that's why the enemies run out and start spreading out, and you have issues with them running out because you're not shooting the oxidizer where you want to shoot it against that wall right there. Another thing, I'll see people, especially if you stand off to the side over here, when they shoot their oxidizers, they're shooting past the door, like hitting the painting, hitting over here. Now let's look. You got this one. If you shoot, it's off center. Do you see that right there? If you shoot over here, if you hit this, shoot past it. Now, when the enemies spawn, the ones that spawn right here to the left, no damage. The ones that spawn in the back might take damage, might not take damage. And then that's when you have the issue, because right now, this is the zone that they're getting hit. Right here. All you have to do is run a little bit. Now they're taking no damage. So like I said, it's very important where you shoot the oxidizers. You want to hit them. Not this pillar right here, because if you shoot this as well. Now look. You see the arc? You're hitting the ones that spawn to the left. That's it. But the ones that spawn in the back, to the right, you're just going to run right out. So once again, the sweet spot is right here, hitting it. If you could get it to land even lower, the better. And if you hit that too high, you see where the arc is now? It went from here to there. So that's why you have issues with enemies running out, because you missed like what? That's like a meter. It don't seem like a big deal, but when you're killing over 300 enemies, that might be the difference between one of the enemies surviving every so often. And then if one enemy survives and runs off, you got to try to take them out. The next wave is spawning. So make sure to shoot them right there. Well, let me not run there. And right there's the sweet spot. Don't hit the curtains. Don't hit up here. You see the difference now, right? You hit those, enemies spawn, they run out. But if you landed at the door, they're all going to get hit as soon as they spawn. So that's the sweet spots. If you scope in, you see where the door is right there? That's where you want the oxidizers to land, right there. That's why standing over here is your best bet to get the best angle, because there's only a little bit of clearance. You literally have a wall right there and the curtain right there. The top one's going to be a little bit harder to hit because you do have these signs right here, so it's really hard to get that good arc. And you have this wall right here. So let's shoot these right down. Here's that one. There's that one. Now let's go see where the oxidizers landed. We got the bottom one in a good spot right in front of the door. And the top one almost right in front of the door. It's not the best, but it's a little bit better. And the reason why you don't want to stand over here is because you have this wall that's blocking the door right here. And you're going to end up overshooting the oxidizer from this spot. And for the bottom one, let's see where they land. So the bottom one is good. And the top one isn't good. Because at that angle, we're going to be hitting this wall, and it's really hard to try to get the oxidizer to kind of go through these two little sections right here to land. And at worst, or at best, we might land them like over here or over here, which isn't too bad, but you can tell that the bulk of the arc is right here. and it means that the enemies can run out right here. And I'm actually going to go ahead and try that spot. I don't know why I never thought about it. Same spots.
Serious trauma.
And see, and because we're on story mode, we spawn back over here, and all we got to do is run back this way. Run over here and see if we're in business. I highly apologize to everybody that I never tested this out earlier. I feel like a doo-doo head right now. Ah. There's another door over there. They just came out of. You know what? Well, let's restart this. All right, so let's try this out. So the only thing that's really different is that I still have the 3 weapon wares, 2 shiny monkeys, got the skill talent on the chest piece. And this time I'm going to run proxy that comes with the perfectly temper proof. So every 8 seconds it's going to shock enemies. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the assault turret and I'm going to toss it to the bottom door. That way it'll help every so often if any of the enemies run out the door, it'll shock them. You got the turret down there as well doing some damage. So it might be worth using. And also if you're playing in a group, what the other people in your group can do, they can each equip temper proof, have a assault turret, and then toss their turret over in their spawn locations. And another one that they could also run is the combustor. Throw out their turret over there where they spawn, and every 5 seconds it's going to blow up, do a little bit more damage. Those are just ideas if you're playing in a group. But for now, let's try this solo. Let me find a good spot and a good way where I could quickly throw out the turret without slowing myself down. Maybe if I run this way. Might have to take a step closer. You know what? Let me see how much time that wasted. That way I could turn around, get my first oxidizer out. Hit the last terminal. Just keep in mind, since we don't have a tech support or a memento backpack adding damage, that our oxidizer ticks are a little bit lower. But it shouldn't really matter too much as long as you're hitting like 200,000, 250, should be good. And at least for the bottom one, you know, you got the turret there shocking them for the ones that run out every so often. And let's see if the Chunga actually, you know, if the Chunga runs to the turret, that's pretty clutch. Because you don't have to deal with the Chunga. You know what? Let me see. I'll target the Chunga with the turret. You know, when the Chunga's there. The Chunga might die from the explosions. Yeah. That's actually pretty cool. Pretty neat that the Chunga goes after the turret. I don't know if you'll go after the turret every single time. I don't have enough testing with this build. But if it does work, like the Chunga likes to go to the turret because that's like the first thing he sees, that's actually really, really cool. And with this, you kind of focus more on top, it looks like, because the turret should nope, don't focus more on top. Definitely don't focus more on top, because you see that one guy got out. Got 33 seconds left. Woo. The leg is kicking in. Going to the right, see if they spawn somewhere else right before we fail. Oh, we completed. Okay. We still have plenty of time on our turret too. You can see where all my bottom oxys are going. Let's look at the top. Top was a pretty good placement. It was like a little bit off center from the door because it's really hard to hit the door directly. But let's see where the enemies spawn. I think they were coming out of a door over here. I don't know. Because when I ran to the side, they were coming out from over here somewhere. So I wonder if they're coming out of one of these doors, the restrooms. Huh. That's weird. But if we could get the turret to be closer to the door, like right in front of the door. Let me see here. Let's practice this right now. So, you know, yeah, I guess I'll pick you up, G28. So we hit this terminal. Maybe if we run like this, pull it out, stand. Okay, so if we stand against this wall, this curtain, we could throw it, turn around real quick, jump this, run over here, hit that one, and then go there. Okay. Okay, let's put this to the test now. Hit this one. Run to the left. You want to be right next to this curtain. Toss it. Okay. That wasn't too bad. That's pretty quick. If you get the angle down and like the spot to kind of throw it from, you should be able to do it pretty fast. We do lose a couple of seconds versus not throwing the turret out, and that might be the thing that makes or breaks this using the proxy backpack, is that little bit of seconds lost. So hit this one. Let me try this side again, because maybe if I stay to the back, that way I can shoot these. I'll keep my eye on the map to see where they spawn from, because the only two doors I saw there were from the bathroom. So maybe if I stay over here, I should be good to go. And you can see we got the perfect angle now to land it right at the base of the door. And I'm going to, hopefully the Changa runs to the turret again, even though the Changa is going to spawn right under us. Yeah, the Changa is out. You can see him on the mini map. Okay. Jeez. All right, Mr. Houdini. Aha. The only issue is now we gotta figure out what to do with the Changa. But it looks like if we stay back here against this door, we should be good to go. But just weird. I wonder what door they were coming out of earlier. Huh. I mean, now it's, you know, a lot easier because you're going to land all of your oxys on mark. This kind of sucks because the doors aren't lined up. The bottom one is off to the right. Top one's off to the left a little bit. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Oh yeah, I think this is the good spot. I don't know why it wasn't working earlier. I think if you go to, no, let's go to the railing. I think if you're too close to it, they might spawn out of a different door. Yeah, see? If you're too close to the door, they spawn out of the bathrooms. So what you want to do is stay back here, it looks like, because they don't spawn out of that door. Oh, that's pretty neat. I just think I just made this farm a little bit easier to do.
Hostile control of terminal.
Huh. Alrighty, not a big deal. The cool thing is, it looks like when they spawn up top, they look straight down at the turret. So they don't really run out, as not all of them run out. That's pretty cool.
Local access required to neutralize.
I'll try that new spot again, because that spot was
Agent, you need
working
to
pretty
take over
well.
the
To the
terminal
left,
and control the network.
pull it out. I messed it up. Took too long.
Terminal accessed.
I should have shut the oxidizers. Yeah. I gotta find a better route. Ah, they came out a different door. I was close. Okay. Alrighty.
Hostile control.
It looks like if you're not on the ledge, they spawn out of a different door in the bottom because you're kind of close to them. Interesting. So that doesn't work. Just know there's going to be fails, a lot of fails when you're trying out new things.
Required to
So don't hate
detonation.
testing out cool things right now.
Agent, you need to take over the terminal so Isaac can control the network.
Ah, shit. Hold on. I messed that up.
Accessed.
Try it again.
Vital signs critical.
Respawn.
Deceased.
We shall not speak about that fail. Okay. Let's try this again.
Required to neutralize remote detonation capability.
Agent, you need to take over the terminal
To
so
the
Isaac
left.
can control the network.
Pull it out. Toss it.
Accessed. Terminal controlled.
I wonder if I run this way. If I run this way. But now they spawn on the left. Okay. So don't run that way. It looks like we have to go out up the middle for them to spawn the right way. Now we gotta figure out how to deal with the Chunga. Feel like if I run over here for the Chunga. Then run back over here. This might be better. Okay, so that time the Chunga is going for the turret. So keep your eye out on the Chunga. I guess if you run to the left, the Chunga might just go for the turret. Or if he spawns right under you, the Chunga will go for you. And here you want to shoot the oxidizers as centered to the door and as low to the door as possible. That way the ring is going to go the farthest from the door, if that makes sense. Like the diameter of the oxidizer is going to reach out farther. Just in case if they, run out for whatever reason. So that's the run. with the proxy backpack. It's neat. I think it's too hard to set up. There's a lot more room for error because you lose like a second or two where you could just run to the second terminal when you have to place it. So I feel like, you know, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about having the proxy with the turret at the door. It's pretty cool. I just thought I'll try it out. It'll definitely work a lot better if you're with teammates that could just, you know, go ahead and straight up throw their stuff over there. Even one person can throw it underneath us right now where the chunga spawns. That way you have that, the chunga will deal with the turret instead of running towards you guys. Y'all gonna die? This is weird. I don't know what's going on. Am I about to Delta? I don't know what's going on. Huh. It's a good thing that that drop doesn't actually damage the turret, which is really good.
Terminals investigated.
Okay.
You can head back to the Echo.
Let's see our multi-kill XP.
Detonate those IEDs from here.
296. Yeah. I don't think this is going to work too well because I feel like my kills went down a whole lot lower than they normally should have been at, just because we're losing a lot of damage running this backpack. Alrighty, Dags, for this build, we're going to try out the main backpack AXEL. It comes with perfect energize. Using an armor kit grants 1 skill tier for 15 seconds. If already skill tier 6, grants overcharge. And the cooldown is 30 seconds. So we start with 4 armor kits, and then every 30 seconds we could pop this and it's going to overcharge. Yeah, I'm going to try the turret actually. That way it can deal with the chunga and I can just focus on the enemies at the doors. I don't think we're going to need the Artificer Hive with this loadout because we do have the waveform, which is going to add damage. So why the overcharge is really good? Because with the oxidizer, if you look at it, when it's overcharged, you get 100% radius increase, a bigger duration, and you do a little bit more damage. And with that radius increase, 1 oxidizer is going to cover both of the doors. For the chest piece, we're still going to be rocking the skilled. Got the 3 pieces of the waveform wear. We have the waveform to give us even more damage. You might not even need the waveform, honestly, with the overcharge. So either way, let's give it a try, especially with that new spot that I found out that works actually pretty well. I don't know, though. I mean, you got to damage yourself first with the AXEL, so it might be a little pain. So all you got to do is kind of like shoot an oxidizer off to the side, run into it really quick, and then you should be good to go with that.
Terminal controlled. Terminal infiltrated.
Run over here. Throw the turret down there. That way it can deal with the chunga, hopefully. We're gonna do 2 to, oop, I messed that up. 2 to the top, 1 to the bottom. Well, I shot 3, but normally you want 2 to land in a good spot. Alrighty.
Terminal infiltrated.
Run over here. Pop your armor kit. Now your oxidizer is overcharged, so you could kind of shoot it in the middle. I would still kind of try to shoot it in the same spots, just because once the overcharge wears off, they're going to go back to the smaller duration or the smaller diameter. Alrighty, that one's off. Shoot your oxidizer up over here. Took some damage. You know what? The chunga's about to spawn, so let's run over here. Just for when the chunga spawns, that way it won't go for me. Alright, let's hit our overcharge again. Yeah, I think the chunga died already. That's crazy. I don't know. What do you guys think? You think it's worth it using AXEL? You know, you could keep your eye on it. That way, it's just more steps. It's not too hard, you know. You just do that. Run back over here. It's available again, so pop the armor kit. You know, once we hit 4 stamina, a lot of our armor kits are going to get refunded, so we should have 4 again. We got 0. Let me activate my link. I don't know, man. This ain't, I don't think this is going to work. I don't like it. I feel like it's too many steps. And we got to do too many steps. Leaves more room for error. So for me, I don't think the overcharge is worth it. It's cool. I mean, it was cool to try, but running it multiple times, nah. I don't think it's for me. Yeah. It is a L. So let's screw it. I'm just going to take myself out.
Vital signs critical.
Not a big fan of the backpack.
Agent.
Yeah. Let me know what you guys think about this. If this is a loadout you would run with the overcharge. I wasn't too big of a fan of it. I think adding too many steps and overcomplicating this farm is just kind of meh. Adding more steps leaves more room for error, so I'll just probably never run this loadout again. I just wanted to try to see how it would work. Now finally for the last build, this is the build that I actually run for the season. It's going to be the same guns, technician specialization. This time we got the Memento backpack because it gives you a long-term buff of 30% skill efficiency, and the short-term buff is going to give us another 30% skill efficiency because we do have 6 yellow cores on our build. And I have a question for the community. Does the skill tier that you get from the technician specialization work with the Memento backpack? Because if that +1 skill tier from the technician specialization does work with the Memento, you could swap one of these cores out for like a red or blue. It's not really needed, but so I just leave it all yellow cores. Still got the 3-piece Wayburn wear, 2-piece shiny monkey with the chest piece having skilled. I got the skill haste armor mods, the oxidizer with the damage and radius. Then I'm going to try out the assault turret just to deal with the Chunga. And because Memento backpack gives you a red core and a blue core as well, when you activate the tech link, you're going to get 20% skill efficiency. And if you didn't know, skill efficiency also includes skill haste. So that's 60% skill efficiency we get from the Memento, plus that 20% skill efficiency we get from activating the tech link. Half of that is going to turn into skill damage, meaning that the turret and the oxidizers are going to do more damage. Alrighty, let's go ahead and try my favorite loadout for this farm with the Memento backpack. And remember, you got to do this really fast. Can't waste any time. And the cool thing about the Memento backpack is that when you kill an enemy inside a door frame, the kill confirm tokens will actually drop at your feet. Meaning you don't have to worry about, you know, how going around and picking up those kill confirm tokens. Turret out. Hopefully that's close enough to where the Chunga spawns. Run over here, Oxy out, 2 to the top, 1 to the bottom, another one up, 2 to the bottom, why not, 1 more up. Good luck. Hit the last terminal. You want to hug this wall over here, and as long as you stay against this door right here, the enemies will keep coming out these 2 doors. If you go to the railing over there, there's 2 doors back there that you saw earlier that the enemies come out of. Alrighty. Come on. There we go. Then what I'm going to do around the 306 mark, I'm gonna run away, let the Chunga spawn, because I want the Chunga to take aggro of the turret. Okay, Chunga got the aggro of the turret, so let's come back over here. Now we shouldn't have to worry about the Oh, what the hell? I guess he killed my turret? I wonder if I just stand here and ignore the chunga. Bruh. I mean, that's one way to deal with the chunga. Just ignore him. That's so funny. Okay, I think it's time to take him out. Yeah, that's pretty funny. You get so much bonus armor from all those kill confirm tokens that you really don't have to worry about the chunga. It looks like. Oh, that's funny. I was just doing that to see what would happen if I just ignored the chunga. It looks like you can for a little while, but eventually he'll start chipping away at your actual health pool. Or you could just put on one, you know, armor on kill mod, and you could literally ignore him until the very end. That'll be funny. That's crazy though. How did he kill my turret so fast? Did I not throw it out? Maybe if I just throw the turret at the base of the down the stairs when I'm up here already. I wonder, what do you guys think? Let me know where you think I should throw the turret. Because I don't think you should throw the turret before you start shooting the first set of oxidizers, because those, you know, 1 or 2 seconds that you throw out the turret, you kind of lose out and leaves more room for error with the first wave of enemies spawning. Like you saw earlier on, you know, they started spawning instantly after I threw the turret out and climbed up. So I think the best bet would be to just run it normal and then worry about the turret. But you definitely don't want to run over here, because if you run over here, the enemies are going to spawn on the left side. So this right here, this little area right here is the sweet spot. So definitely avoid being on this ladder well right here. Let's run over here. So the chunka comes out this door right here. So the reason why I was saying I don't think it's a good idea to throw the turret out before the first wave comes out, because it takes you like a second to, you know, get it out. When you throw it, you got like a half a second that you waste. And you really need to be super fast for the first wave, so I wouldn't recommend that. I think once we're up here, I think throwing the turret, you know, I don't know, bounce it off the wall right there. It's going to land on the stairs, and hopefully it'll deal with the chunga. Or you could just do what I did and just ignore him altogether. All right, let's go run it one more time for good luck.
Immediate medical assistance needed. Agent. Killed.
All right, let's go get this. And you can see that, like, even though I'm running like random builds, it still works. It comes down to kind of your oxidizer placements. That's the biggest thing, is placing the oxidizers at the right spots to deal the most amount of damage the most efficiently. Besides that, the build doesn't really matter. And that's why it's really good to, you know, equip other items if you're trying to work on your proficiency, because you're going to be able to. You got your secondary, you got your sidearm, you got the skill. You know, you see that I'm not really relying too much on the Artificer Hive. See how he the enemies, I was able to shoot out more oxidizers before the enemies spawn because I didn't waste time with the turret. I think that's going to be the way to go. Don't throw the turret out first.
Terminal accessed.
Run over here. Got a couple more oxidizers. Feel like right here is a good spot. And also, if you need more damage, having your capacitor out is going to increase the damage to your oxidizers, because the capacitor does have the damage to armor and damage to target out of cover. And you could also, you know, run Fox's per knee pads or capacitor or contractor's gloves if you want more damage. You know, let me run over here for a second. I could still shoot my oxidizers from over here. You could get them right there. Man, he's straight up ignoring my thing. Alrighty. Sorry, let me get a couple more oxidizers out. You got like 30 seconds of duration on your oxidizers. Come on. You don't want to kill him over here because when he explodes, he drops like those little grenades. Incendiary grenades, I think they are. I don't know. I guess the turret, you don't really care for the turret. Because like I said before, he spawns right under us. So technically we are the closest thing to him when he spawns, so he aggroes us. Which sucks. So maybe if you throw the turret up on this railing over here, at least the turret will shoot him, and you could kind of ignore him while the turret does its thing. Alrighty, we rocking and rolling. This is so much easier. I don't know, man. I'm sorry that I never tested this spot before, guys. I think I did. I tested the railing and they kept spawning somewhere else. I never thought about just backing it up. Well, now that I'm keeping my cheeks against this door, I'm Gucci. We're doing like 250 ticks. Ah, shit. I don't know. Guess I wasn't shooting oxidizers up. That's my B. Yeah, you definitely want to... Oh, shit. I have no idea what just happened. Y'all saw that, right? The oxidizer just exploded mid-air in front of me. Yeah, you definitely want to keep up. You want to have at least, you know, 3 or 4 oxidizers out at all times. That way you're hitting for like 1 million a tick pretty much between the 4 oxidizers. That way you have the best chance and quickest chance to take out the enemy, so they drop their dead drop modifier grenade and take out the rest. Oh, the leg. Oh. Oh. We won.
Agent, you can head back to the Echo.
All right, let's see our multi-kills that time.
Thank you for eliminating the threat to DC.
Even if some enemies get out, you still get a good chunk of XP. I wouldn't sweat it too much. Alrighty, so we got 345,000 multi-kill, 99 survivor. That's a pretty nice chunk right there. Over 2 million XP, Accolade XP. That's an extra 3 levels right there on top of all the levels we got from just running it. And if you guys got any ideas how to deal with this Changa more efficiently standing over here, share that in the comments. That way, you know, right now I'm just kind of like winging it because I just figured out that this spot right here works. So, I mean, if you got the MEMENTO backpack, you saw, you could just stand there. And so in conclusion, you saw me run 4 different builds. I was successful at all 4 builds, mostly due to me having 30 expertise in my oxidizer. That does help a lot. And the reason why I showed all these builds and tried different things that I knew wouldn't really work, especially with that AXEL backpack, because the main thing with this Kinley College farm is oxidizers placement. Now you don't really have to worry about it from the left side, because now you could just run it at the right side. Like, yeah, well, yeah, sorry, I guess better late than never, right? So if you've been using my Kinley College farms, make sure you drop a like and comment below what you guys think. That way we could get the word out so that more people can do this farm. It's not a horrible farm. It is boring, yes. Let's go to sleep. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what brand sets you use, kind of like what attributes you use. I use 3 skill haste, 3 skill durations, that they all work. Different exotics. If you want, you can even use BTSUs. That way you can, overdrive for the chunga. But the biggest thing that you want to have for the backpack, I would say, is something that does damage. Calculated is not needed. I did not run calculated on my backpack for any of these runs at all, and you saw that I was doing good. There were some times when the skill talent wasn't proccing, and that if it happens, it happens. It doesn't happen all the time or that often, but you might have like 10-15 seconds when you have literally no ammo. If that happens and you get overrun, you could either just respawn yourself or you could just recover, because once skill starts proccing and you get your ammos, you're good to go. If you're solo, the Artificer Hive's not really needed as long as you're doing at least 200,000 ticks on the oxidizer. But I think the sweet spot's going to be like 250, 300,000, and having at least 4 oxidizers out on each door at any given time. That way you're doing 1 million damage between the 4 different oxidizers. And because we're running on story, when you're solo, I believe the reds have less than 1 million. So the faster you can just kill the reds as soon as they spawn, the faster they'll drop those dead drop grenades and take out the rest of the enemies that spawn with them, especially the purples. I don't believe I ever seen any yellows spawn out, so let me know if you ever seen any yellows besides the chunga. And just remember, the whole purpose of this guide is just to show you how to do it and kind of what works. So I'm gonna leave it to the community to do their thing and try a bunch of different things. I don't have time to test out every single different combination. And I know for a fact that other combinations work because I read the comments. Empress works, people use BTSU gloves, they work. Waveform works, Equipped in Fox's Purse gives you the 8% damage to target out of cover. Contractor gloves gives you the 8% damage to armor. Both of them are going to really boost the damage that your oxidizer does. And if you're working on proficiency, you can swap out the secondary skill. You only need the oxidizer. Secondary gun, sidearm, you can swap them out for anything you need expertise. You don't even really need the capacitor, because while you have the cam launcher out, it is not going to get affected by any of the attributes of the capacitor, like the damage to armor, damage to target out of cover. That's why you heard me say if you want the oxidizer to do more damage, just put it away. That way you're holding the capacitor. And use loadouts with the bare minimum mechanics to run them efficiently, because the whole goal of this farm is consistency. And if you're able to run it consistently, you could literally get 40, 50, 60, 70 levels of run solo. It gets even crazier if you're in a group, because you're gonna go from getting 5, 6, 7 levels of run to like 8, 9, 10 levels of run. Either way, Dags, happy farming. Get out there. I know there's only a couple days left for this current Kinley College session, but it is going to be open again. Let's see here. You could go to your timeline to see when the next event is. We got 2 days, 8 hours as of now for this current one. And the next one's going to be open July 8th. Ooh. Unfortunately, it's going to happen during the reanimated event. I really like the reanimated event. That's my favorite one. And we got another Kinley College on the 22nd of July. And that's about it. So we got about 16 days worth of Kinley College for you guys to do your thing until the next season starts. And hopefully next season, the modifiers are going to be a lot better, because this season modifiers really suck for the Kinley College farm. Alrighty, Dags. Like I said before, if you made it this far, drop a like, comment below how many levels you get a run, what you guys think about my loadouts, and if you think the new spot is a lot better than the previous one. That's all for now. Happy farming. Get out there, do your thing, max out your expertise, get your shade levels, show your friends how to do this farm. That way you guys could all level up together, have a good time, because this farm is a whole lot better if you have somebody to talk to while doing it.